Yeah. Hi, guys.
And Tarun is also saying excited for this session. I think Neha is among the first doodlers India created. Is it too factually correct? Is this factually correct?
There were a few, but of course, like doodling को लोग कहाँ seriously लेते हैं? तो सोचो ना, to have it like a career and to just like go ahead with it. I think I'm just lucky.
I know, and everybody, please like feel free to bombard in the chat. Keep sending your questions, and get keep playing this GIF game. We'll also join in the
Neha
middle to
for
play.
president. Wow.
We'll
Oh
also
God.
keep sending in some GIFs and some nice comments also here in the chat. But Neha, like, tell me. I know the title of the session is "Becoming an Artist Without a Degree." What has the journey been like? Were you also in school always focused on going ahead and becoming an artist? Because my dream was to be an astronaut. I was nowhere close to fulfilling that. Then my dream changed to something else also, but that also did not fulfill. And then, yeah, I mean, I think life took me to
Yeah.
where it needed. But how was the case for you? How was your journey?
I actually either wanted to become a detective, like when I was way younger. Okay, so like when you don't really know how to become stuff. So I wanted to become a detective, or I wanted to become a veterinarian doctor. तो ग्रोइंग अप लाइक 8th 9th तक आई हैड थॉट कि मैं वेट बनूंगी. बट फिर मेरे को रियलाइज हुआ कि वन आई कैन नॉट सी ब्लड, एंड सेकेंडली बहुत पढ़ाई करनी पड़ेगी. तो वो प्लान मैंने ड्रॉप कर दिया. एंड आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट की क्लास में एक्चुअली मुझे सी या लाइक बी प्लस बहुत ही गंदे मार्क्स आते थे, बिकॉज क्राफ्ट इज समथिंग ना वेर यू like have to like stick stuff, और ऊपर से there is no undo option. So like once you, and I can't trust the process. Like I can't be like कि अभी गंदा लग रहा है बाद में अच्छा लगेगा. मेरे को शुरू से अच्छा लगना चाहिए, नहीं तो मैं क्या करती थी पूरी ड्राइंग बना के उसको फाड़ देती थी कि अरे हाय अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. एंड दैट्स व्हाई लाइक आई नेवर रियली थॉट कि मैं एक आर्ट फील्ड में जाऊंगी, स्पेशली आफ्टर 12th. तो मैंने वैसे ही सोच रखा था कि मेरे को सीए बनना है, और मैं अकाउंट्स वाली फील्ड में चली गई और वो हो गया. दैट इज अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. And but like it was never on my radar that I wanted to be an artist. And even like when I started social media, it wasn't really the art that fascinated me. It
Hmm.
was like that feeling of community that you build, and
Yeah.
that feeling that you have a voice and people are listening to you, and like you can express your feelings. So I've always sort of like been that person in the group जो कि उसके साथ चीज़ कोई एक होती है, बट वो ऐसे मिर्ची मसाला लगा के इतनी ऐसे पूरी कहानी बना देता है. So that has those have been my doodles. Like I tell a story in which 80% or 90% of it is like a सच्ची घटना, बिल्कुल
Hmm.
100% सच. But like that one like 10% थोड़ा सा मिर्ची लगा के I like to like uh, communicate through my doodles. So that is how the social media made me
How
so
is
interested.
this life where like whatever is personally happening in your life is also sort of like your professional side of things? Like if let's say you're creating a doodle about what has happened with you today, and let's say you put in this percent of mirch masala into it, and then you're uploading that on Instagram, or creating, let's say, a product out of it, whatever that might be. um, how is it feeling? Because I don't have that feeling. I mean, my personal life is different, my professional life is different. It's
Yeah,
like really different. But for you it's like really like merged and interconnected and intertwined. Do you enjoy that? How do you
definitely.
see?
I think every content creator enjoys that attention. That is the reason that we are here. अगर हम वो नहीं enjoy कर रहे थे, we wouldn't be making content. I think it has its own pros and cons. Pros are like कभी कभी मैं अपनी लाइफ के से छोटी छोटी सिचुएशन को फुल स्टोरी बना के बताती हूँ, एंड आई मीट लाइक रैंडम पीपल ऑन द मेट्रो एंड दे नो कि मैंने अपनी बाथरूम में जो छिपकली है उसका नाम सुष्मिता रखा हुआ है. एंड लाइक आई लव इट कि people pay attention to me. And sometimes there are a lot of cons as well, because sometimes you're not having a good day, and
Hmm.
like probably तुम मतलब ऐसे गुस्से में कुछ ज्यादा ही ओवर शेयर कर देते हो इंटरनेट पे, एंड देन बाद में you're regretting कि इतना भी नहीं बोलना चाहिए था. So there are pros and
Yeah.
cons. There is like a line that every creator has drawn कि इतना बताना है, इससे ज्यादा नहीं बताना.
Hmm.
And there
Yeah.
also has to be like some sort of boundaries when it comes to other people, because they have not signed up for the social media life. So
Yeah.
I like make it a point कि अपने बारे में कुछ भी बोल दो, but like when I'm out with friends or people who are not
Yeah.
on social media, उनके बारे में ऐसे ज़्यादा नहीं डालना.
Yeah. Yeah. imagine like you would be starting this journey like today on 17th September 2022. Okay, like you decide to be like this Instagram creator, or let's just call it creator, whichever platform. How would you start and do this again? Like you're at 0 followers right now.
Yeah.
um what would you do that you did not do 3 years, 5 years back? What would be that process
I
for you?
think I think I would love to start when I started, because उसमें क्या था, you had that option. Do you want to do, like, I started with comics, I started with illustrations, and still, like, even now अभी भी that is what I love doing. I think I don't like the fact that I can't do it as much as I used to, because अब मैं अगर स्टैटिक पोस्ट करूंगी तो उतनी रीच ही नहीं आती है, एंड इवन दो आई मेक इट अ पॉइंट कि ज्यादा नंबर्स के बारे में नहीं सोचना, ठीक है, दैट इज लाइक वन
Yeah,
डे योर Instagram will just decide that your engagement is high, and one day it
yeah.
will decide it's not. So I like try to not think about it, but still when like you consistently start doing static posts and you're seeing कि मेरी बहुत ही ज़्यादा गिर रही है engagement, you have to
Mhm.
like keep up with the trends. So
Yeah,
like I had to upskill myself because of reels. I had to upskill to a point that I had to make myself learn a totally different art form, which is animation.
yeah.
So I think if I had started now, so I would still just be about reels. I would probably just do animations and would not have that regret that I can't do comics and illustrations as much as I want to. But I think the time that I started was much better opposed to now, because अब जरा expression थोड़ा कम हो गया है. मतलब people don't really
Hmm.
want to see, like people do want to see, but it's just the Instagram algorithm doesn't support it. They don't
Yeah,
want to see the real you. They want to see like कि ठीक है ये trending audio पे what can you do,
yeah.
or like even
Have
if you're
have you
expressing
tried?
yourself.
Yeah, have you
Yeah.
tried other platforms, like let's say maybe writing on Medium as a blog about your process of creating these doodles, or maybe a longer format like YouTube where you're explaining also the process of creating it and things like that. Have these thoughts come to your head?
They have, like I did think about starting YouTube Shorts, in which I am going to start like pretty soon. I also did not really want to do the same sort of content that I'm doing on Instagram on
Hmm.
YouTube, because
Yeah.
like YouTube pe what I've observed is animation reels don't really work that well, because I started and they
Hmm.
didn't. So it's not really about me. It's like a pattern that I've observed कि
Yeah.
थोड़ा कम
Yeah.
चलता है animation. And I
Yeah.
really want to start YouTube with some sort of value addition. I don't want to just
Hmm.
do just because कि चलो ठीक है ये मैं Instagram पे बना रही हूँ तो might as
Yeah.
well put it everywhere. I want to
Yeah.
start some sort of like value addition reels की like if you're using these softwares, these are the tips and tricks you can use to do it more
Yeah.
efficiently. Longer form of videos, like I haven't really tried, because मेरे को ना खुद से मुझे ऐसे फीलिंग आता है like I'm not really a
Hmm.
good teacher. I feel like इतनी लंबी वीडियो में मैं इतना कंटेंट नहीं दे पाऊंगी. मतलब I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
crisp short content also because
Hmm.
I like to consume that. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मैं खुद ही नहीं देख पा रही हूँ लंबी वीडियोस, तो like मैं
Yeah.
बनाऊंगी कैसे?
Yeah, got it. So Pragya is asking, what daily practices can one follow to become an effective storyteller? So is there like a fixed schedule that you work on? Do you work only on 5 days or 7 days? What's the process or systems that you have created for yourself?
Uh, honestly, I do not have a set pattern or like a routine or like discipline that I follow. It's just, I think to become like a good storyteller, something that has worked for me is that I journal a lot. And especially when, you're having a bad day and you feel like, I feel like the voice then in your head keeps repeating stuff to you. So this, ये वाला लॉजिक टू डू लिस्ट में भी काम करता है, और व्हेन यू आर हैविंग लाइक वेरी सेल्फ डेप्रिकेटिंग थॉट्स तब भी काम करता है. तो
Hmm.
लाइक व्हेन यू हैव टू डू समथिंग इंपॉर्टेंट, तो तुम्हारे दिमाग में ना वही बात सेम चलती रहेगी चलती रहेगी चलती रहेगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन आई हैव टू
Yeah.
ट्रैवल, तो मेरे को ना रोज मतलब अगर इवन इफ आई हैव टू ट्रैवल लाइक आफ्टर 3 days, आई जस्ट लाइक कीप
Hmm.
रिपीटिंग टू माई सेल्फ कि आधार कार्ड रखना मत भूलना, आधार कार्ड रखना मत भूलना, आधार कार्ड रखना
Hmm.
मत भूलना. एंड वन थिंग दैट हेल्प्स break out of this loop is that when I write it down कि
Okay.
ठीक है, these are the things that I need to carry, and then सुबह-सुबह जाने से पहले I refer to that list, everything मैंने सारी चीज़ें रख ली, then I don't get
Hmm.
that feeling that I'm forgetting something because I've already
Yeah.
written everything down. So the same sort of mechanism works when you're having self-deprecating thoughts also. Even when your brain is saying कि you're not good enough, you can't do this, you're not good enough, you're not do this, write it down in a journal. तो फिर ना
Yeah.
तुम्हारी like inner voice को शांति मिल जाती है that I have been heard, and then
Hmm.
like it stops speaking. And
Yeah.
this like sort of works with me in terms of storytelling also, because like when at the end of the day, whenever, like not every day, whenever I want to, like I'm feeling very overwhelmed, I write down in a journal, write down like what am I feeling, what are my thoughts. And when I'm like telling a story, I feel like इस practice की वजह से my thought process becomes like very linear, मैं किसी tangent पे नहीं चली जाती बोलते
Yeah.
बोलते. So this journaling really helps.
Got it. I think the audience have really interesting questions here. One of the other question by Priyanka is, first of all, she's saying big fan. I would love to hear how you navigated or navigate ways of earning income and diversifying those income streams. I think after a point, because let's say every creator, if they start a particular income stream, they also have to diversify that. They cannot just like rely on that one particular stream itself. So how did you do that? If you want to share some light on that.
Hi Priyanka. First of all, thank you so much. I think what has worked for me is to sort of figure out कि उस टाइम पे मेरे लिए क्या वर्क कर रहा है. So जब मैंने स्टार्ट किया था, of course I did not have a degree, and like when you don't have a degree, the clients always have like an upper hand. और तुमने अभी अभी start किया, they are also figuring out this is a new artist, and they feel like they can dictate the terms. And ठीक है, मतलब this is something that you have to work with initially. So I was not getting a lot of freelance projects, and I hadn't worked on my own personal projects इतना ज़्यादा. So then I started कि custom phone cases start करते हैं. Let's do personal
Hmm.
projects for like individual people, customized uh, phone cases, and like wedding invites, and these wedding souvenirs that people give, like keychains
Hmm.
and t-shirts, the team bride and the team groom, these sort of things. So initially I started with these custom and personalized gifting material. So isme I tried to like think ki how can I make it big, and how can I like do better. And then I started like thoda
Yeah.
sa merch line, and then my freelance project started picking up. And then I realized that if I want to do merch, I would like I would need to have like a bigger team, because I can't manage it
Hmm.
myself, pura pack wack karna.
Yeah.
And at that point of time, it did not make sense for me to have a team, because I was not earning that well, and I couldn't even
Hmm.
guarantee कि ये merch line इतना इतने पैसे कमा पाएगी that मैं अपनी team sustain कर पाऊँ. So I stopped
Yeah.
doing that, and I moved to freelance projects, because that was building up. साथ साथ
Hmm.
मेरे followers increase हो रहे थे, so I started getting paid collaborations. And when
Hmm.
it started picking up, I started that. And then now the paid collaboration bit is happening, my yearly calendars are also happening. And then
Hmm.
now I'm starting to looking into other options like merchandise again, because now I can sustain a team. So for
Got it.
you to like diversify your income, you need to sort of figure out what are the pros and cons of, first of all, of course, figure out कि ये चीजें मैं कर सकती हूँ.
Hmm.
और इन सारी चीजों में से तुम्हारे लिए टाइम वाइज एंड मनी वाइज क्या क्या चीजें feasible हैं, एंड
Hmm.
देन थिंक कि ये चीजें लेट्स स्टार्ट नाउ, एंड लाइक give yourself a timeline that this will make sense when I have this will make sense when I have this, and then you can start. And especially when you're an artist, matlab, there are endless things that you can do. You could do like
Yeah. Yeah.
graphic novels, you could do merchandise, brand collaborations, or like just work as like a graphic designer, work with like a company as a social media consultant.
Hmm.
Endless number of things you can do.
Yeah. Did be like that short journey of CA help you in some way or other to
Oh,
diversify?
definitely. This is a conversation I was having with a friend yesterday कि
Hmm.
एक तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये जो इनवॉइसेस बनाने होते हैं,
Oh
जीएसटी,
yeah.
उस पे वो करना होता है, उस
Yeah.
चीज़ों से मैं इंटिमिडेट नहीं होती हूँ, बिकॉज़
Yeah. Yeah.
इवन इफ आई एम नॉट अप टू डेट विद व्हाटएवर इज हैपनिंग, आई नो द टेक्निकल jargon कि
Yeah.
सर्विस टैक्स क्या है, सेल्स टैक्स क्या है, वो तो चलो सेल्स
Yeah.
टैक्स
Yeah.
एंड सर्विस टैक्स अब नहीं है, बट लाइक if somebody will just explain it to me, or if I read like a Google article, I will understand everything. So it
Got
helps
it.
me with the invoicing, it helps me with the TDS, अपना income tax file करना, GST return file करना. And now I'm
Hmm.
thinking of like buying my first car, so taking that auto loan, और उसमें whatever the jargons are happening, those are not intimidating me. So that is the good part about doing थोड़ा सा CA.
Got it. There's one more question by Priyanka, which I think is also something that I'm curious to know about. Do you have this thought, because your art is so related to you, sometimes it might be even based on your mood to make art, the risk is huge. I mean, I think to maybe elaborate a bit on this question, do you feel ki yaar, maybe in the next 1 week, if I'm not in that headspace, or let's say I am unwell, and you might not want to create art, and you will not then publish. If you are not publishing content, then that means again that algorithm tricks and all of
Yeah.
those things start trickling down. Audience engagement starts reducing and all of those things. So do you think it's also like a huge risk because it's so connected and
Hmm.
personified?
My last Instagram post was on the 2nd of September. It's been 15 days. I have not made anything. So, this is a choice that you make. There are two ways to go about it. One
Hmm.
is you handle everything, you make it very
Hmm.
personalized. People know that, like, my stories are very organic, my posts are very organic. Usually, if I am,
Hmm.
even if I'm making a reel that, uh, like cockroaches are having a dance party in my bathroom, they
Hmm.
will know that कल मेरे को cockroach मिला होगा तभी मैं ये बना
Hmm.
रही. So
Hmm.
like or also people feel very connected in the sense that like yesterday I posted a story that I miss the old internet when you could be very
Hmm. Hmm.
expressive, you could like talk about whatever's happening in your life, but up jo hai, it has become very commercialized. Even then,
Yeah.
like a lot of people who are connected with me since like a lot of years, दे जस्ट लाइक मेरे को पूरी स्टोरी भेज रहे होंगे जैसे लाइक मैंने कुछ दिन पहले लिखा था कि मैं ड्राइविंग सीख रही हूँ तो एक लड़की ने लिखा कि
Hmm.
मेरा भी सेकंड डे है लाइक शी बॉट हर फर्स्ट कार एंड शी इज सेंडिंग मी पिक्चर्स of her mother standing with the car and
Hmm.
then she's like I bought it wanted to share it with you, so like the sense of community that you build when you have like a personal uh, brand account
Yeah.
is something that I opted for. The other option would be of course to have a team and then have like two people working for you that they're also making posts, they're also making cartoons for you, and then you could be very regular. So this of course comes at a huge risk because अब मैं 15 दिन से नहीं बनाया तो नहीं बनाया, right? लेकिन
Hmm.
like the pros that it comes with, the that feeling of being connected with your followers and
Yeah.
being in like in small ways being connected to their lives is something that like I opted for. This is what I want.
Got it. I know we are running short on time, but I think this is one more interesting question by Kavya, where she's asking: do you think that creativity involves putting your heart and soul into your work, or is it more like letting your mind flow freely to witness the surprising results of your action? And maybe just a top layer on this question is: are you like structuring a lot, and are you like being very logical about it? जैसे ये आजकल marketers SEO and all of those analytics they get into, do you also do a lot of like analytics about it, or it's like free flowing for you? Maybe let me just put it again on the screen if I can. um oh no, maybe I can't, but I'll repeat it. Do you think that creativity involves putting your heart and soul into your work, or is it more like letting your mind flow freely to witness the surprising results of your actions?
When you say does creativity include these two, so of course they include both of the things. It's just there are different types of artists and there उनका सबका अपना अलग अलग तरीका है काम करने का. And for me, I think it is very personal. मतलब I usually have a very hard time if like a client gives me some work and which is not at all
Yeah.
something. Suppose like if you tell me to doodle about cricket, मैं क्रिकेट
Hmm.
मैंने कभी देखा नहीं है, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता
Hmm.
होता क्रिकेट के बारे में, सो इट बिकम्स वेरी हार्ड फॉर मी. आई हैव टू लाइक रिसर्च एंड लाइक आई हैव टू लाइक
Yeah.
फोर्सफुली पुट माई सेल्फ डाउन टू मेक समथिंग अबाउट इट.
Hmm.
बट most of my art that I do for myself and like for my social media is very like I put my heart and soul into it कि मतलब this is something that's happening to me and this is how I want to portray it to the world. So
Yeah.
for me, it is very personal, but a lot of people they also structure it and they also like do the whole SEO and all कि best posting time क्या है. मेरे को तो ये है
Hmm.
कि मैंने अगर पोस्ट बना ली है तो आई एम वेरी इम्पेशेंट, मैं अभी के अभी डालूंगी. आई कांट डू लाइक कि ऐसे बफर पूरा मैंने क्रिएट करके रखा हुआ
Hmm.
है और मैं डाल रही हूँ एक एक दिन के बाद. Like I
Hmm.
try to do it. That is something that I aim for, but I can't like for the life of me can't do it right now.
Got it. Um, Jatin is asking how you fixed your art style. Is the low effort, high reward really working? I'm not sure about the second part of the question here, but how did you fix your style? How did you fix that you want to go into doodles and
Uh,
you want to talk about some of these things? How did that decision happen?
So, like as I said earlier, my main motive was to be a storyteller. कि मेरे को
Hmm.
अपनी बात किसी भी तरह ऐसे आगे एक्सप्रेस करनी है. And initially I used to like work really hard कि एक एक उस पे I used to like make it very high effort, but initially I started making it low effort and it has sort of become my style because मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि the story matters, like when it comes to my content, the story matters, and it doesn't really matter if I put like a lot of effort into it or like lesser effort into it, and especially on social media the high
Hmm.
effort doesn't really reward you that much. जब
Hmm.
तुम बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत करते हो ना, तो तुम्हारी बहुत फीलिंग्स भी अटैच हो जाती हैं उससे कि
Hmm.
शिट मैंने इस पे बहुत ज़्यादा मेहनत करी है, तो ये चलना चाहिए, और फिर वो टैंक
Yeah.
कर जाता है, देन यू आर वेरी डीमोटिवेटेड, एंड एज़ एन
Yeah.
आर्टिस्ट इफ यू आर डीमोटिवेटेड यू कांट प्रोड्यूस द नेक्स्ट your next artwork. So
Yeah.
like for social media, I follow this low effort, just like to put my point across sort of style. And like animation में तो दिखने में low effort होता है, वो पीछे बहुत effort जाता है. So it's just a style that it
Yeah.
looks very low effort, but that is also sort of the personality of my page. Like the whole message that my page puts across is that this is something that you can also do.
Hmm.
Like the whole idea of my doodles is that I can do it, you can also do it, and this is what I want to put across. So uh, social media ke liye the low effort thing works. When it comes to client commissions, then I put in a lot of effort because of course
Yeah.
being paid for it directly, and I have a set brief.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Okay. A lot of folks here in the chat are also saying that this Shruti is saying that this talk of yours is truly a masterclass about many things. Thank you so much for this. Jatin is also saying really loved your answers. Thank you so much. Very insightful session. I know if we had a bit more time, we would have gone much deeper into some of the other questions also. I saw some philosophical questions also. I mean, not exactly philosophical, but like hypothetical, where somebody was asking if you had the chance to live during a different artistic movement other than now, which one would you choose? I'm assuming Kavya you're talking about agar ye wo like wo Van Gogh and that period, or maybe something else, maybe in the 2000 where the main thing was always putting up your paintings at JJ. I am sure this era is really fun. Like it's so easy to just put up content on social media, express what you really want to in just 10 seconds or 5 seconds,
Yeah.
on your IG stories, maybe talking about anything that you are going through in your personal life. I mean, personally, I would enjoy to be in this one only. But Neha, what about you? If you had a
I
chance?
think I think I'm very self-aware. I will be very honest. I would not have survived in a time where there was no social media, because the USP of my art is that it is very crisp and it is very easily shareable. And I get
Yeah.
that kick not from people appreciating my art, but being connected with that story. So
Yeah.
I think if I could live in another time, I would probably like be that. How in Tamasha there's this the initial guy who's telling you a story for 10 rupees,
Hmm.
right? I would
Yeah.
be that person. I would be like telling a story. I would not be drawing. Probably like had some doodles drawn at the back for some backdrop or stuff. But I wouldn't have been like a true blue painter, like an actual artist. Digital art is like my preferred medium. I would not want to go to another time. This
Wow.
is
Super.
this is where I am like at the right place.
I think this has been like a great 20-30 minutes of deep conversations. I didn't realize we would be talking about so many different things in such a
Yeah.
short span
We've
of
only
time.
answered questions. We haven't really
Yeah,
like
I
talked
couldn't get
about
to
it.
my questions, but maybe some other time, maybe at some other event, or we'll figure out some other time, or maybe if I come to Delhi, or if you're in Bombay, we can catch up
Definitely.
and do my set of questions over a cup of coffee. Chief game of this event's attendees is really really strong, I feel.
I have to
Uh,
just I have to just dancing. This is all I'm doing.
Super. Folks, if you liked any part of this conversation or if you enjoyed something, please feel free to, put up an IG story and tag Neha and the Pepper page. We'll also get to know what you enjoyed, what did you like, and we'll probably schedule another such conversation with Neha maybe in the coming few weeks or months. And if we are meeting somewhere in Bombay or Delhi, we'll tell you. You all can also join in at that Starbucks or wherever we are. But thank you so much, Neha, for doing this. I think it's always a pleasure to speak to you and get to know what you're doing these days. Maybe we should try and plan this out quarterly. We'll figure out something. But
Definitely.
thank you so much once again for being here. And thank you so much, everybody who was here engaging in the chat and asking so many great questions. We'll move on to the next session in just few minutes. But we are ending this session for now. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much, guys, for joining. And I'm so sorry इतने सारे questions का answer नहीं कर पाए, but thank you so much for
We can take
joining.
it over Instagram story. Please just feel free to put in questions as an IG story and tag Neha and Pepper, and we'll
Definitely.
we'll figure out a way to answer that.
Yes.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right,
Neha. Thank you
guys.
so much.
Bye-bye. Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Bye.